What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying your lives to the fullest today. Today we are reviewing the 2023 Subaru WRX Limited. Huge thank you to Tyler Wright over at Stohlman Subaru of Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular WRX Limited or any Subaru product, I'll be sure to have Tyler's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. First, let's talk about the exterior and performance. So like I said, this is a 2023 Subaru WRX Limited, and this particular one has been painted in ceramic white. One of the first things I wanted to mention in this video is that this is the highest trim level that you guys can get with a manual option. When you guys option for the next trim level up, which is the GT, that is an automatic only. However, you guys do get an active suspension with that, but you can't get the manual transmission. So the base, the premium, and the limited, you guys can get the manual. When you get the GT, that is an automatic only. So just keep that in mind when shopping for the WRX. But let's start over here with the air intake on the hood. I really like this air intake. It is body color, and it just adds to the rally theme of the WRX, and it just gives it a sporty presence on the road. I really like that air intake at the top. But let's move over into our headlights. So with the WRX Limited, you guys do get LED steering responsive headlights with high beam assist. High beam assist is just a fancy way of saying automatic high beams. You guys also do get LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights towards the bottom of your front bumper. Now, taking a step back, let's take in the front end. I really like the way that the WRX looks from the front end. I like the way that the headlights just have a really sleek design to them. And then you guys can also see kind of on the bumper, the body lines lead nicely into the headlights. Let me know if you guys agree with that statement, but I just really like the way that this thing looks from the front end. It looks super sleek, it looks super sporty, and with that black at the bottom, I think it just adds to the rally theme. But let's move into our front grille. So you guys do get a metallic gray honeycomb front grille with two gray grille bars on either side of your Subaru emblem. Your Subaru emblem is located at the center of your front grille. And then working our way down just a tad, the bottom, like roughly third of the front bumper is satin black, and then you guys do get a front under spoiler, as Subaru calls it on the window sticker. And then this is a, rally inspired vehicle after all. So if you guys were wondering about ground clearance, you guys get 5.4 inches of ground clearance with the WRX. Now, like I just mentioned, you guys do get some satin black trim at the bottom of your front bumper, which leads nicely into your satin black wheel arch moldings, which can be found on all four of your wheel arches. So you guys do get satin black wheel arch moldings with venting towards the passenger doors. That is what your venting looks like. And then you guys also do get a sport tuned suspension with the WRX Limited. And then all WRXs do come with active torque vectoring. Now, working our way into these wheels. These wheels are 18-inch dark gray multi-spoke wheels, and they are wrapped in a 245/40 Dunlop SP Sport Max GT tires. I'm going to give you guys a view of the tread pattern on those tires as best as I can. That is what the tires look like, and I just really like the wheel design on the WRX. I was in a Legacy Sport the other day, and I was not a fan of the wheel and tire setup. Not the tire setup, but the wheel setup. I think they looked terrible, but Subaru does do a good job with their wheels when it comes to their performance vehicles like the WRX. So I do like the wheel design on this WRX Limited, and I believe these wheels are the same on the premium as well. But working our way into these side view mirrors, you guys do get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals. These side view mirrors are heated, they're power adjustable, and you get your blind spot monitoring on the inside of the mirror. So your blind spot monitoring is right there and about right there on your passenger side. And then this particular WRX has also been optioned with the 268 auto dimming exterior mirrors. So basically this mirror as well as the mirror on that side will auto dim if there's a vehicle behind you with their high beams on. That is a very, very nice feature. And then you get a little light right here that will illuminate this area just to make it a little bit easier to get in and out of the vehicle at night. So let's say, you're walking up to your vehicle, you press the unlock button, and that light shines down and it shows you that there's like a big deep puddle that you can avoid now because you have that light on the side view mirror. That is a very, very nice thing, and that is one of the options that I would recommend you guys get on the WRX. But you guys also do get black window trim, you get body color door handles, and you get a aggressive side skirt on both sides. I want to show you guys what that looks like because it protrudes out quite a bit. So that is a view of the side skirts. I'll give you guys another little side profile view of the WRX. That is what she looks like. I really like the way that this thing looks. I'm not too sold, I guess you could say, on the back, but I really like the way that it looks from the front. And then this thing also drives really, really well. But at the top of the roof line, you guys do get a body color shark fin antenna. You also do get a rear window defroster. Right here is where your third brake light is. And then with the Limited, you guys do get a body color trunk spoiler. And that is a view of what your trunk spoiler looks like at the back end of the WRX. Also with the WRX Limited, you guys do get LED taillights with a black taillight bezel, as you guys can see right there. And then we'll do a little booty shot of the WRX because you guys do get a black trim piece that connects both of your taillights together. And then you have your Subaru emblem at the center of that. Located about right there is where you will find your backup camera. I'll give you guys a closer view of that. And then you guys do get your chrome badging back here as well with your Subaru, your WRX, and your symmetrical all-wheel drive badges. But just below your Subaru emblem, you find a little pad. When you press on that pad, the trunk will open up. And honestly, for a vehicle of this size, you get quite a bit of trunk space back here. Like, I could say you could probably fit maybe 4 carry-on suitcases back here. So again, quite a bit of storage space back here for a vehicle of this size. You get a nice little storage cubby on both sides back here as well, which is very, very nice. And then this particular one has been optioned with the $132 all-weather floor mats, which is essentially just a rubber floor mat, and this is what they look like. However, I'm personally a fan of the ones that come standard with the Limited because they have the red WRX lettering, and then you guys also do get some red stitching on the outside of the floor mats themselves. I think they look really, really sweet. However, let's say you live in Washington State where it rains all the time. These floor mats are probably going to be the ones that you want to use. And then this does not come with a spare tire, but you do get a tire inflator kit right here, and that is what that looks like down in there. And really, that's kind of about it for the trunk. We'll work our way down a tad, and let's talk about this rear bumper. So you guys do get a satin black rear bumper with 2 reflectors on both sides, one right there, one on this side. And then what's also pretty cool about this rear bumper is that you guys also do get kind of like an integrated diffuser back here. With that is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. And then you guys could cut this out if you wanted to, and put a rain light in. I think that would also look really, really cool. But again, that you don't have to do that, but it would look pretty cool. As well as you guys do get a quad tip exhaust system back here just to add to the sporty look of the WRX at the back end. And indeed, it does, in my personal opinion. And last but not least, one of the last things I wanted to say is that if you guys are looking at getting a WRX, just keep in mind that 91 octane is the lowest fuel that Subaru recommends for the WRX. So when you guys open this up, you guys will see that premium fuel is recommended. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to put it in, but then you're risking knocking. You might not be able to, you know, get warranty coverage, let's say if your motor blows or something like that. So just do what Subaru says, put the premium fuel in it. And if you don't want to get a vehicle that requires premium, well, this doesn't necessarily require premium, but it does recommend premium. I just wanted to let you guys know that this does recommend premium fuel. But that kind of segues me into the next part of this video, which is performance. So let's get right into it. Popping open that hood reveals that 2.4 liter turbo boxer 4-cylinder that makes 271 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. This particular one has been mated to the standard 6-speed manual transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 5.5 seconds if you're a good driver. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 19 miles per gallon in the city, 26 miles per gallon on the highway for 22 miles per gallon combined with standard all-wheel drive. And in my personal opinion, I think those fuel economy numbers are really really good, especially considering, you know, this is a performance oriented vehicle, and I really like the way that the manual transmission feels. Like, this is a daily drivable manual transmission car because it's very, very easy to drive, and I just love the way that the transmission feels. It feels really, really nice. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I just hit 10,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for that. But now that we've hit 10,000 subscribers, now we are on the journey to 100K subscribers. So if you guys have taken any value from this video so far today, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But let's move into the interior. Moving into the interior, I wanted to show you guys a couple of the functions on the key fob. So you got your lock function, your unlock function that will pop open the trunk, and then you have your panic function at the bottom of the key fob. Like I mentioned, you do get keyless access, so all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, again only on the front two doors, and put your hand behind the door handle and the vehicle will unlock. You guys can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across these two hash marks right here, and now the vehicle is locked. But again, put your hand behind the door handle and the vehicle will unlock again. Now let's take a look at the driver's side door panel. So what makes the Limited so special, or not like special per se, but with the Limited you guys do get ultra suede trimmed upholstery. So let's move into the seat. So at the top you get your vinyl, and then from here to about right here is all leather wrapped. You get some red accent colored stitching up there, down here. You get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest. You get some faux carbon fiber trim, an aluminum door handle. This is to adjust your side view mirrors. You get your unlock function, your lock function. You get automatic up and down windows at all four corners. Pressing on this button will restrict your passenger window privileges. Right here you got a spot you could set a Deer Park water bottle, and then you get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space down under here, but really not all that much. Now, one thing I really like that Subaru does is that they give you a few places that you guys can set your phone. So take a look right here. My iPhone 14 Pro Max fits in that spot no problem, and that is one of the bigger phones on the market. So thank you, Subaru, for always thinking of places to put your phone. Also, with the Limited, you guys do get a Harman Kardon sound system. I believe it's an 11 speaker Harman Kardon sound system. But taking a look at the driver's seat, you guys can see these are the performance design front seats, and they are ultra suede, and they are also leather trimmed and heated. One thing I really like is the WRX lettering located on the headrest. It is in red. You guys can see you get some accent colored stitching that goes down the seat right here. Looks really, really sweet. And then also what I really like about Subaru products is, boom, you guys can see the headrest comes forward, headrest goes back, and there are a couple in between settings that you guys can have it on. I really, really like that. And then you guys can see the center of the seat itself is all ultra suede, kind of with like a black strip at the center, and then you guys have like that lighter gray on the sides. It looks really, really sweet. And then also with the Limited, you guys do get a 10-way power driver seat, and those are your seat controls for the driver's seat. But let's step into the interior and let's see what the rest of the interior in the Limited has to offer. There are a couple bugs flying in here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close the door. This does have keyless access, so that also means you do get push button start. This is a manual transmission, so all you got to do, push your foot down on the clutch, then push to start. And that is what it sounds like when the motor fires up. We'll make sure we are in neutral. I probably am not gonna have this thing on because that's gonna mess with the audio, so I'm gonna roll that window down a little bit. I'm gonna roll this window down a bit, and we should have a nice little crosswind. So let's start over here on the driver's side, then we'll work our way to the passenger side and then into those rear seats. I'll try to get this done rather quickly. So pressing on that button will open up your trunk. This little knob or dial here will brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons, and then that is to turn your traction control system on or off. You do get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and what I mean by tilting and telescoping is that you can bring it towards you, you can push it away from you, and then it also goes up and down. So a ton of adjustability with your steering column. And then this is what the steering wheel itself looks like. But before we get into the steering wheel itself, I'm gonna bring it back down a touch. I do want to show you guys what the turn signal sounds like. So that is what the turn signal sounds like. But not only is this your turn signal control stock, this is also your headlight control stock and your fog light control stock, and I guess also it is your high beam control stock. So right now, if I have that all the way down, that is headlights off, that is headlights in automatic, that is daytime running lights on, and then all the way at the top is headlights in the always on position. And then right here, this is to turn your fog lights on, that is to turn your fog lights off, and then obviously pulling back will turn your high beams on. Just keep in mind that right now my headlights are in automatic. It is daytime, so my headlights are not on. So if I turn my fog lights on, the fog lights will not turn on. But if I turn my headlights into the always on position, then my fog lights will turn on. But I believe at night, like if the headlights were on and this was on and then the headlights were in automatic, then the fog lights would turn on. But right now, because we still have daylight, the fog lights will not turn on in the headlight automatic position. But let's take a listen to our horn. That is what the horn sounds like in the WRX. Now this is a leather wrapped steering wheel with some red accent colored stitching on the inside of it. It looks super, super sporty. I love how the red accent colored stitching goes throughout the entire interior. But that is to go back on a track. That is to go forward on a track. This is to volume up. This is to volume down. This is to switch between your different AM, FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth audio, USB, auxiliary jack, etc. Those are all your different media sources. That is to speak to the vehicle. That is to pick up on a phone call. That is to hang up on a phone call. And then these arrows down here are to control your productivity screen located at the center of your gauge cluster. I'll get into that here in a minute. And then here are your cruise control settings. One thing that's pretty cool, you get some faux carbon fiber trim down here and your WRX lettering written out down here as well. With the Limited, you guys do get these aluminum sport pedals. They look super, super sweet and just add to the sporty theme of the WRX. But this is your windshield wiper control stock. Now let's go throughout our gauge cluster. So on the left-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your RPM gauge. On the right-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your speedometer. That is also your fuel gauge. If you guys can see, your fuel pump right there is pointing to the right-hand side of the vehicle. That means you fill the vehicle up with gas on the right-hand side. So if that little arrow down there was pointing to the left-hand side, then you would fill the vehicle up with gas on the driver's side. But then you also have your coolant temperature gauge down here. And then at the center, this is your digital speedometer readout. Up top there, that's your fuel range. That is your average trip B miles per gallon. And then up top here, that's like your instant fuel economy stuff. So right now it's basically telling me that I'm getting not good fuel economy. However, let's say I'm just coasting. This would come to this side. I'll show you guys that on the driving portion of the review. And then down here, that's your trip B information. And then that is your odometer. If you guys want to reset your trip B information, you get this little button right here. Press and hold on that, and those will reset back down to 0. But again, to control this screen, you have these buttons here. Get your up arrow and your down arrow. So right now I'm going to click this one. So we'll go down throughout this screen. That is like your trip A information. This is some more analytical fuel data. That's your tire pressure stuff. That's your compass. And then that is a blank screen. That is the audio information. That is the time and the ambient exterior temperature. This is like your boost pressure. And then back to this screen. Personally, if it was me, I'd either leave it on this screen and or that screen. But that's your digital speedometer readout. And then you get this little box down here. So let's say I was in first gear and I had the clutch out in first gear. That would let me know I'm either in first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear, and or reverse. And then that lets us know that the parking brake is on. Working our way into the infotainment screen. The Limited does come standard with the 11.6-inch Starlink infotainment system with built-in navigation as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. However, the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay stuff is wired. But pressing on that hazard button, coming down, that's your volume knob, as well as if I press and hold on that, that will turn the screen off. So now the screen is turning off. I'm going to cancel that. Coming down, that's your front defroster. Here are your temperature controls for the driver. Here are the temperature controls for the passenger. Pressing on that button will turn your heated side view mirrors on, as well as your rear window defroster on. And then up top here, you have your tuning knob. If I press and hold on that, that will bring me into my tone settings. Give it a second. And then you have your tone settings for your Harman Kardon sound system. But now let's go throughout the screen, starting from the top. Ambient exterior temperature, that is the current time. That lets us know how much battery my phone has, as well as how much signal my phone has. Then this little widget screen right here is letting me know what audio is playing at the moment. So right now it's connected to Bluetooth. Clicking over, you get a calm screen. Clicking over one more time, you got your temperature screen, oil temperature, etc. And then all the way over, you have like the built-in weather stuff. So right now it thinks we're in Gaithersburg, Maryland. You guys can set that to where you actually are. And then you got your different audio sources: Bluetooth, USB, iPhone, AM, FM, auxiliary. I guess this is actually just the media stuff. So you got your auxiliary, your iPhone, etc., etc. That is what the media screen looks like. Those are the queued up songs. Coming down here, that will bring me into my home screen. So this is what your home screen looks like. You got your map, radio, media, phone, apps, car info, Starlink, my Subaru, settings. And then coming over here, you can add a shortcut. So you basically can have more of these little shortcut buttons. That's your home button. That will bring you into like your vehicle stuff. So it brings you into this screen. You get your vehicle control. You can turn your steering responsive headlights on or off. That, I believe, is like your rear cross traffic alert, as well as your blind spot stuff. You can turn that on or off. And then you have this screen. Go back into the home screen. You can go in between your different settings. So let's go into this. This is like one setting screen. You get your sound settings, you get your navigation settings. You can click over here. You can go to your phone settings, radio settings, and your car settings. But I'm not going to go through that. I can spend a long time going throughout this infotainment screen, and that would just make the video too long. Also, again, with the Limited, you guys do get heated front seats, both with 3 levels of adjustability. So that's your heated seat button. That is your heated seat button for the passenger. Again, both with 3 levels of adjustability, 1, 2, and 3. And then you do get a dual zone climate control system with the Limited. This is like your instant climate control stack down here. If you guys want this screen to be a little bit bigger, click right there, and then the entire screen turns into your climate control screen. And yeah, that's really about it for that screen. Coming down just a tad, you have your 12-volt power outlet, your auxiliary jack, and your 2 USB-A ports. You get a great spot. You can set a phone down here. This one is the manual, so you get your manual transmission stuff right here. One thing I really like about the WRX is that you have the good old-fashioned emergency brake, so it's not just like a little button you pull up. This is actually like a physical emergency brake that you have to pull up. I actually personally appreciate that. Then you have a great spot. You can set the key fob right here. That's what I've been doing. And then you also have 2 cup holders right here. You get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest with some accent colored stitching. Opening this up, you get a decent amount of storage space down in there. I'd say about 1/4 of my forearm fits in there. And then you also get another 12-volt power outlet right there. So that's about it for this center section. You get 4 HVAC vents on the dash. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4 over there. But again, that's really about it for down here. You guys also do get a lockable glove box with a quite a bit of storage space down in there actually. And then you get some gray trim, you get some more of that accent colored stitching. Looks really, really sweet. And then working our way up to here, this particular one has been optioned with the $402 auto dimming interior mirror with compass and HomeLink. HomeLink is just your universal garage door opener. So if you have 3 different garage bays that you can open up individually at home, you can open up all those 3 different garage bays individually with these 3 different buttons. You can also turn the auto dimming mirror on or off by the push of that button. And then that is your compass. That lets you know right there if your passenger airbag is on or off. Get your like roadside assistance stuff right here, and then you get your lighting stuff. So when the doors open up now, the interior lights will turn on, which by the way leads me into my next point. This one also has the $150 interior LED light upgrade. So basically these lights are, all the interior lights are LED, including these light, or that light right in there. Also with the WRX Limited, you guys do get a power sunroof that does tilt and slide. So it slides back and then it also tilts up just like that. You also do get a vanity mirror with a vanity light that is also LED. And then you get a great spot right here. You can set, registration or some sort of paper product that's not like obscenely big. So you could also set, business cards there if you wanted to as well. Passenger side looks the exact same. I don't believe that this thing slides. No, it does not slide backwards. So that is a fixed visor. You get a OPU panel over here on your driver's side. The passenger side also gets an OPU panel. There are a couple things that I did want to go over before we moved into those rear seats. So a couple things, as standard, you guys get the 11 speaker Harman Kardon sound system with an amplifier. Now, if you guys do get the automatic transmission, which is a CVT, that is a $2,250 option, but that does come with 3 different drive modes, which is called like SI drive, Sport Intelligent Drive Mode. So a couple other things is that I'm going to go over a couple, or the only options that this vehicle has. So this has the $402 auto dimming interior mirror with compass and home link, as well as the $268 auto dimming exterior mirrors, as well as the $150 interior LED light upgrade and the $132 all-weather floor liners. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen for you guys to take a look at. You guys can take a look at the gas mileage, the warranty stuff, the standard equipment, the optional equipment. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2023 WRX Limited is spec'd is $39,467. Let me know what you guys think of that price in the comment section down below. And then also, if you guys wanted to, you guys can take a look at the safety features that come standard with the WRX on that window sticker as well. But I'm going to show you guys what we got going on in the rear seats of the WRX. So basically, the door panel back here looks very similar to what you would find in the front, leather wrapped from about here to up top here. Then you get your vinyl wrapping, you get your faux carbon fiber, you get your aluminum door handle, automatic up and down windows in the back. Another spot you can set a phone, you can set a Deer Park water bottle here, and then you get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space right there. But this is what your rear seats look like back here. Let's step in, because they're like a bunch of these like little floaty things that I'm catching on camera right now that for some reason just continually keep floating. Seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. Opening this up, you get 2 USB-A ports, and then again you get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders and a nicely padded armrest. This is what your lights look like back here. Again, they are LED. You get a OPU panel on this side with a spot you can set your dry cleaning, and then same thing over there, OPU panel and a spot you can set your dry cleaning. I am adjusted behind myself. I am 5'9". I've got plenty of leg room. I have plenty of knee room, and I probably have a few more inches of headroom as well. So honestly, this is a practical daily driver. You know, those of you guys who are looking for something that's manual, you want something that's a little bit fun to drive, this is a great vehicle for that, because it's practical, it's fun, it's fast, it comes with a manual, and it sounds pretty good as well. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the WRX Limited. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review, where we always start our videos right here, at least when we do videos with these cars. We go over these speed bumps at about 5 miles an hour, and then we rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. So far it's done pretty well. I did go a little bit too slow on that, so we're gonna go 5. See if I can't get it to 5 right about there. And I'm gonna give this thing a 7.8 on a scale of 1 to 10, because after all, the WRX does have a sport tuned suspension, so this thing is built to handle. I mean, there's no body roll with the body roll test right there. So you know, it is a firmer suspension, it's on the firmer side, but really when you guys are daily driving this, like on these streets and stuff like that, it actually cruises very nicely, and it doesn't feel like it's too firm. So one thing that I failed to mention on the exterior part of the video that I normally do, like on the back end, was talking about the axle ratio. So this is a 4.11 axle ratio, meaning that on the highway, I'm not quite sure how well it would cruise, because, you know, also first gear is, you know, rather short as well, but that's what gives this thing a peppy feel to it, you know what I mean? That's what like makes it really fun to drive around town. So right now I'm in 4th gear at 45 miles an hour. We're at 2,500 RPM. So that is kind of what I mean by that axle ratio being, you know, rather high. Now I'm in 5th gear at 45 miles an hour, and we're at 2,000 RPM. So at 70, 80 miles an hour, you're probably going to be in 6th gear around, you know, probably 3,000 RPM, I would guess, if I had to. So if you guys are doing like a lot of like long distance travel, like day-to-day stuff, you know, that is where the manual is a little bit, not annoying, but my buddy has like a 2015 WRX, and he used to do like 4-hour road trips to and from school. And he said, well, his is also modified and it's got an exhaust and stuff, so it's loud and it drones and stuff like that. So you're probably not going to get the greatest fuel economy, you know, at 80, 85 miles an hour if you're just cruising that, but you know, it'll do it. And it's just so easy to drive, and that's one thing that I really like about it, is that it's not like bucky. You know, sometimes like you get into a manual vehicle and you're just like cruising, you know, through a parking lot, let's say around 5 miles an hour, and the car's just like At least that's what my 2010 Camaro does. You know, it's also got 100,000 miles on it now, but this does not do that, and that is something that I really appreciate. And also the clutch is really light, but it's like a good weight to it. Like, it's not like super light, but it's light enough to where you could do it in traffic, and your leg's not going to get like an insane workout. Like in my 2010 Camaro, if I'm in traffic and I'm, you know, releasing the clutch and stuff like that just over and over and over, you know, that clutch gets heavy after a little bit of time. But this one, it's got a nice weight to it for daily driving use. But I'll give it a little gas. And it's so fun to just like zip around it, you know what I mean? Like, it's just got that zippy power. It's not like insanely powerful, and those of you guys who have had a WRX in the past, or you have driven a WRX, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, it's not like insanely fast, but it's got more than enough power to let you have a little bit of fun. Like right now, you can just feel that turbo spooling up, you can feel that power start to build, and it's a fun and a pleasurable driving experience, especially with the manual transmission. You know, I've driven the WRX, the 2022 WRX GT with the CVT, and honestly, I gotta say that transmission is actually pretty darn good. Like, I know people are gonna complain that it's got a CVT. I already know that. And if you're getting a WRX, my personal opinion, you gotta get the manual. But that CVT is still a very good transmission, so I can't talk too much poo-poo on it, because it actually is pretty good, and it puts the power down nicely, and it feels almost quicker with that transmission than here with the manual. I mean, obviously we know nowadays automatics in general are faster than the manual counterpart, but you know, honestly, and this is something that it's taken me a little bit of time to learn as I get older. You know, when I was younger, I'd be like, I want power. But now that I'm, you know, getting older, I guess maybe maturing and stuff like that, it's not so much about the power for me. It's about the engaging driving experience. It's about the engaging driving experience, and that's like what a manual gives you. It just makes the driving experience more fun, more pleasurable, and it's a lot more engaging to drive a manual. This guy's on my rear end. Give it a little bit of gas. Not really putting my foot that far into the throttle, and boom, we zipped around that Tesla. So I mean, this thing is just really has the right amount of power. The transmission is great, and overall it's just a fun car to drive because it handles well. It looks good, in my opinion. I really like the way that the front looks. The back is, you know, I'm undecided on how I feel about the back, because really it doesn't look terrible, but it's not amazing at the same time. So I don't hate the back, but I don't love the back. I love the front. I think this thing looks great from the front. I love that air intake scoop. That just adds to the rally theme of the WRX. And honestly, when we move now talking about the interior, it's a really nice place to be. You know, these seats are nice and comfortable. They have a really good amount of bolstering. You know, I'm on the skinnier side, and I feel like really nice and like firm and tucked in these seats. But, you know, I think that like even somebody who's like 200 pounds would still feel very comfortable in these seats as well. You know, even like a little bit thicker than me would still be comfortable in these seats. This thing's also like super easy to rev match downshift on your own. It also has this guy's not gonna go. Nova driver, man. I just sat there for like 10 seconds and this guy just didn't go. But I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time just to hear what this thing sounds like. When you get down to like 1500 RPM, that's where this thing really sounds like a WRX with that bassy exhaust note. I love the way that sounds. It's just so distinctive. It's just such a smooth acceleration, like between the transmission, between the motor, just between the clutch. It's just very easy to drive. It's very fun to drive. It goes right into gear. It's just so silky smooth. And one thing that I like personally like is the suspension. So this thing will absolutely eat up a back road, and that is one thing. Like my buddy's got a 2015 STI and that thing just handles so insanely well, and this thing is no different. This has the sport tune suspension, and once you guys like step up, if you were to step up to the GT, which by the way is the CVT only, you guys do get an active suspension, whereas this one does not get the active suspension. But in all actuality, you don't really need it, because this thing, while on the firmer side of things, it still has plenty of comfort, you know, when I'm just cruising on this road here, you know what I mean? Like cruising on the highway, cruising on these roads. It just, it doesn't, it's not like too firm, but it's like the perfect blend of like firmness for handling, for comfort, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it will handle really well, but it also just like cruise these streets very nicely, and you're not going to get like jarred up. You're not going to feel like you're like jolting or over bumps and stuff like that. Like it's just a overall great suspension, handles great, cruises great. Harman Kardon sound system, I'm gonna move into audio stuff now, also sounds really good, and I like how they have the Harman Kardon sound system with the Limited. One thing that I do wish that Subaru did is I wish that they would give you like the option to get the Harman Kardon sound system, because I believe in the premium, which is the trim level below this, you do not have the option of getting the Harman Kardon sound system. So you just get the base or the standard sound system. So I wish that they would be like, okay, you want the Harman Kardon sound system? I'm talking about the premium. Okay, that's $800. So if you want to upgrade, listen. So if you wanted to upgrade to the Harman Kardon, you could, but you can't, and that is the blind spot monitoring that I was talking about. It lights up about right there. Do a little acceleration here. It just sounds really nice. Like for stock, I know like some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, it's not loud enough, it's not loud enough. But really for stock, I think it's got the right amount of loud. It's got the right exhaust note. I love the bassy. I'll do a couple downshift for you guys here. Another little acceleration. This guy's racing. That was funny. I'm telling you guys, man, this thing has just the sporty vibe to it, and other people on the road pick it up because it looks cool, it sounds good, and it's just an overall really great vehicle. So if you guys are interested in a WRX, again, I'll have Tyler's information in the description box down below if you guys wanted to buy this particular one. I believe they also have a blue one. I can't remember what trim level that one is on the lot, but I know they have this one and a blue one. Handling, great handling as always with the WRX, but overall very nice vehicle. But that is it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, you guys got any value out of the video, please be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I am now on the journey to 100,000 subscribers. I know that sounds crazy right now because I just hit 10,000, but you know, you got to start somewhere, and we are at a start. We only have to have 10 times more subscribers than where we are at right now. So again, if you guys enjoyed, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.